Alright, so here's the Harbor Freight Titanium 140 MIG welder. It's a MIG welder that is both gas. Here, there's your gas hookup, and flux core, which I have right here. I picked this up to do some projects and just some small stuff around the house, and I'm really impressed with it so far. I don't have a huge background in welding. I'm definitely a beginner, but I figured I'd show you guys. I plan on doing a project where one of the projects I want to do is build a smoker. I have a 60-gallon air compressor tank here that I want to build into a offset smoker, and I bought this to help me with that project. So I'm going to take you through some of the features of it and show you what it's all about. I'm not an expert by any means, but I've been fooling around with it for a few weeks now, and for the price and what I've been able to do with it so far, just as a beginner. I used to weld years ago with my friends, just messing around. Nothing crazy, no expert stuff or anything like that. Just messing around, but I got back into it recently, and just from watching videos and teaching myself, I was able to, start to learn again. So I'm going to go over the machine and show you how it works. Alright, so here's what the machine comes with. Obviously your welder. It's a 110 outlet welder. I wired up a 12 gauge wire outlet, right into my panel to a 20 amp breaker, so I didn't have to mess around with anything. It's right here. It's a 20 amp breaker solely for that, for the welder right there. GFI. I don't have to worry about putting it on another outlet in the garage. Worry about it tripping or anything like that while I'm using it. So it's a 110 outlet. It comes with a regulator and a hose if you decide to do straight MIG welding with your tank of argon and oxygen 75-25, which I'm not doing right now, so we'll put this off to the side. I'm doing regular flux core wire, which you don't need a tank for. That's what I have here. Shielded flux core wire. We'll take a look inside. You see I have a spool in there. I have .030 right now. Fed it in. Adjusted my tension here. The spool here. Feed it through to your gun there. Now for flux core wire, you have to change your polarity to right here to your negative, and your ground, this is your ground right here, goes to your positive, which seems kind of weird. This is your ground right here. You follow it with you right there. Here's your ground positive. So it's kind of like opposite of what it would be for regular MIG welding. So flux core has to be reversed. And if you read the instructions, all that is in the instructions. It goes over everything. Especially if you're a beginner and new to it like me. That's how you have to set up the flux core. Otherwise, it's not gonna weld correctly. This is on most every welder you buy. Whatever you're welding, find the material, which I'm doing mostly steel, and I'm doing mostly flux core wire right now, and I'll be doing mostly 1/8 and above. This machine advertises up to 5/16, believe it or not. So I'll be up here. There's your 1/8 inch steel. I'll even be a little bit above this for .030 DC flux core. And here's your wire speed, your voltage, and your inductance. Just follow it over. 250, 18, 5 to 10. You can see I have this set at 250, 18, 5, and my inductance is right at 5. And that's pretty much where I've been sticking right now while I'm practicing with this machine. I've been sticking right around those settings, and I've been getting some really decent welds going for being you know, a beginner, someone who hasn't done it in 15 years. The machine runs great. It's got an on-off switch right here in the back, and it actually has a sensor built in that if it starts to overheat, if you run it for, you know, too long where the machine just can't take it, it'll shut itself off. It has a shut off built in to keep it from overheating or you know, shorting out or anything like that. It's really built solid. I've seen a bunch of reviews online about this, and you know, other reviews will probably be much better than the one I'm giving you right now. I'm just giving you an entry-level MIG welder. This is $450, titanium 140 from Harbor Freight. 450, but if you're a club member at Harbor Freight, you can get it for $375. And for a machine that'll weld up to and over 1/4 inch steel on a 110 outlet, you're not going to find a better deal. I had several friends look at it that are much better welders than me, and they said this is the machine to get for a hobby welder like myself. So let's take a look. I'll put my PPE on, and we'll take a look at what you can do. For your PPE, two things I would definitely recommend getting. You could spend, you know, under $100 to get these two things. Get yourself some welding gloves, thick gloves. Don't chintz out. The stuff you're dealing with gets super hot. You want sleeves that come up high to protect your arms from splatter and, you know, hot metal flying up all over you. These are Lincoln gloves. They were maybe $18, something like that. They're definitely worth the money. You could probably even get better for a little bit more money. And get yourself a helmet, a good helmet. This is let's see what brand it is. This is a Chicago helmet. It's a auto darkening helmet. It has settings on it for grinding, and from 9 to 13 darkening for welding. I have it set on 12. For those of you that aren't familiar with this will, not like the old helmets back when I used to mess around when I was a lot younger. You used to put the helmet on and it was almost pitch black and you couldn't see until you started welding. This you can see before you start, and it auto darkens as soon as you start. So it's much easier to find your weld immediately and follow your bead as you're going. And it darkens to protect your eyes immediately after you strike a weld. They make them, this one is just here, but they do make bigger screens here this whole thing. They're more money, obviously, but you can get this whole thing. But this was like maybe 50 bucks, and it definitely serves its purpose. Get yourself a pair of gloves, a nice welding helmet, decent welding helmet, whatever, and you'll be on your way. I just have 2 pieces, 3/16 flat bar here, steel. On PPE, I have obviously a welding helmet, some welding gloves. I should be wearing long pants, but I'm not. I'm just going to show you guys a quick, demonstration of the machine. I have a small metal welding table. I'm grounded to the table, so anything on this table I can weld. And I'm just going to tack this up first. Clean these both up. I'm going to make them into a T so I can practice on both sides. I could run a bead here, run a bead here, and get 2 practices out of one, one piece. Tack it up first. Just a little tack to hold it in place. It's not going anywhere. Now we can practice running a bead down both sides. There's your bead right there. It's super hot, so I'm not gonna touch it right away. Alright, so here's the finished weld before it's cleaned up. And again, I'm not an expert by any means. You can see there's definitely some spots in there that need some work. You can see the splatter that you're gonna get from the flux core wire. But watch what it looks like after I clean it up with a wire brush. It's not gonna look perfect, but it's gonna look much better than that. So here's that weld cleaned up with the wire brush. You can see I still have some splatter in there, but it's much cleaner. And it's definitely far from perfect, like a professional welder would do, but it's not terrible. I definitely have some spots in here, right there, I need to work on. But like you can see, I've been practicing just flat bar, just running welds up and down. That's the only way you're gonna get better. So this machine, there it is out, zoomed out a little bit. This machine is great for a hobby welder or somebody that wants to do a home project or something like that, up to 1/4 inch, maybe even over 1/4 inch. You might have to do 2 passes on it, but it does advertise up to 5/16, so you could probably do that thick of steel if you do 2 passes. And it does a really good job. So in the end, guys, if you're looking for a small welder for your garage or your home shop, take a look at that, the titanium 140 from Harbor Freight. I don't think you'll be disappointed for home projects, like I said, or some small stuff you want to build or anything like that. It's pretty solid. There's a lot more videos that are more in depth than what I'm going to go over on YouTube. Guys that are much more experienced than me. Like I said, I just wanted to throw up a quick video of something that I bought right there to do a couple projects at home and just have a welder in the garage. And I'm looking to build a smoker with that air compressor tank. So it's right up my alley. It works perfect for me for 375 bucks after your discount at Harbor Freight. To me, it's a no-brainer. If you need something more powerful, look at something more powerful. If not, check this one out. I think you'll be happy. And thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you soon.